Hello folks and welcome to WKNI. We have a guest today, Barbara Tyler, and she's with the City of Andalusia. And we're going to be talking about something that's really cool, and I'll give you a little background with me on the Smithsonian. And I belonged to the Smithsonian Institute years ago when I was a kid. And I used to get their magazines and things like that. Great historical society. And we have a great opportunity coming up here soon.
We do.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, again, thank you, Eddie, for having me here. I appreciate getting the word out. The Smithsonian is coming to Andalusia. It will arrive in January. We have our opening day set for January the 4th, which is actually going to be a very big day that Saturday with a ribbon cutting at 10 o'clock. The exhibit will be open until 2, but there will be other activities throughout town on that Saturday. We'll have the exhibit for 5 weeks. But it is actually a museum on Main Street exhibit brought to us through the Smithsonian. It's a traveling exhibit, and its purpose is to engage our community in discussions about the subject matter, and this subject matter is the way we worked.
So the way we work now, I can tell that brings back just all sorts of images in my head. But will that be associated with the way we worked in this community or throughout the United States?
Well, the exhibit is a broad range exhibit. It covers jobs throughout the country over the past 100+ years. So there will be some that are indicative of our area, but again, places in Alaska and the north and the west and the east, and of course here in the south, but all over the country. We will, though, have activities locally that deal with our specific jobs and how Andalusia began and developed and so forth.
It'd be interesting to see all that, and as things progress and we get closer to the date that it's here, we'll be able to talk a little bit more here on WKNI about some of the local participation as well. When this comes to town, where's it going to be set up at?
It will be set up at the Alatex Memorial Park, the Chamber Building. We're using the community room to set up the main exhibit. In one of the offices there will be a school exhibit. We have Linda Kyle, who has coordinated our school projects. We have all kinds of activities that the students throughout the county have been participating in, and the fruits of their labor will be displayed in that room. There's also the Alatex and Aunt McColas textile display that people can view while they're there. It's going to be quite an exhibit there at the Chamber. We also will have a building set out back, which was donated by Wright Manufacturing, to house our agriculture and farming display that Rhett Johnson is working on. So we have a lot going on there at the Chamber. But then we will also have exhibits, local exhibits that are displayed at the LAAC Art Gallery, at the Three Notch Museum, at the Andalusia Animal Humane Society, just to name a few. So we'll have a lot going on in the community.
So a lot of it's going to be right here in the inside the circle, as I call it,
yes,
of the bypass and the Alatex. Now, come on, that has to be the given right there. I mean, as soon as I envisioned what you were talking about here, I envisioned the Alatex had to be a part of it.
When I talked to Tom Bryant over a year ago, and he's with the Alabama Humanities Foundation, and he was telling me about the exhibit and the title of the exhibit, it was meant to be, because we had just excuse me, we had just finished renovating the old Alatex office, and so I knew that had to be the place to exhibit. And fortunately, it's large enough that we can fit the exhibit in that space. But it is. Of course, the mayor had the big shirt created, and now the mural wall. It all ties in, and it's just a wonderful landmark. And this exhibit will tie in with that as well, because that industry employed a lot of people in our county for many, many years.
It built this community. Well, you know, one of the neat things we do out here on the square, as you probably have seen, we do live newscasts. And I get excited every time I go out there and do the newscast, and I introduce it as the historical community and Andalusia, Covington County. So much rich history in this community, and we're going to have an opportunity here for that day to come out. It's going to be it's going to be 4 days. January 4th through February 8th. So
5 weeks.
5 weeks. I'm sorry. I'm giving you days here. It's weeks. And it's going to be ongoing. And this is the richness of the community that we have here. Just looking at the museum here in town that we have, that's a huge asset to the community, and just ongoing. Now there's going to be some other events going on as well locally too when this kicks off on the 4th. Can you tell us some about that?
Well, I made some notes just so I wouldn't forget anybody or anything, but we have, I mentioned Linda, and we have Elaine Manning and Phaedra Chance. They've been working on our local programming, and we have that Saturday we have Ronnie Kilgore with the Classic Cars and Street Rods. He's going to have a display of cars on the square. The LAAC Art Gallery will be open. Their display or exhibit will be featuring businesses that are over 50 years old and still operating in town, and just some history and background on all of those. It's very interesting once we started getting into some of this stuff, the information you find out. It's been fascinating for me because I was not born here. I moved here in 1980. I feel like I've lived here most of my life, but I'm learning things by looking at these photographs and talking to people about their businesses and all of this. And it's an exciting place. We've uncovered with the oral histories that the high school students have been doing, we've uncovered people who had quite interesting jobs way back, sort of ahead of their time type of things. So it is really exciting. The Andalusia Area Humane Society will have an exhibit about animals in the workplace and a demonstration on working dogs that Saturday. The other activities that we have going on, and they will be on the city website under the Smithsonian exhibit calendar of events. Amy Sperlin has created a PowerPoint Progressive Women of the 1900s that will be playing at the auditorium. Rhett Johnson, and he is working on the agricultural and forestry presentation, basically the roots of our beginning here in Covington County. Rhonda Ricks and Lenora Johnson are working on the Storytellers program, and that's called On the Front Porch. Local people in our community will be on stage telling their stories, and that is going to be a really fun night. Yep. Dr. Steve Hubbard, Johnny Brewer, and Sue Wilson are working on the musical performance out at LBW Community College, The Music of Our Lives. That too will be a very fun and exciting event to attend. And Karen Taylor, our City of Andalusia librarian, she and Carol Lee Ray are working on programming at the library, and there'll be something every Friday for the kids. And
wonderful.
She has a special program, a lunch program. So that will all be on the city website calendar of events, and it will be in the newspaper, so hopefully people will be able to gather that.
We'll be here on WKNI.
That's right. Exactly.
We'll keep updated on the weekly progress of things happening here as well.
Jerry Stroud is working with our docent. She's our coordinator for the docents, and the docents or volunteer tour guides will be set up at the exhibit. So the exhibit will run from 9 until 5 every day. There will be someone there to kind of lead people through to make sure they see everything and give them information as to what's going on and where to go next. They like to tell me, don't tell them we're not going to answer any questions. They know, these people will know history of our area. So as far as answering questions specifically about this exhibit, they may not know all those answers, but they definitely know about our community.
Right.
We are also scheduling tours for the schools if they wish to take a field trip and come to town and view the exhibit and other things. We are doing that as well.
Lots of things happening over a 5-week period of time. And I guess next thing is how much does it cost an individual?
There is absolutely no charge to anything that we are doing relating to the Smithsonian. The exhibit is free. The events are all free to the public. So if you're planning to attend, I know that the auditorium at City Hall holds a little over 300 people. So if you're planning to attend one of the events there, get there early for a seat, because I hope that they will fill up. The college holds a few more than that. That event, that musical event, will be free to the public as well. So everybody has just jumped on the bandwagon as far as donating time and effort to be involved with this project. It's just a wonderful opportunity for our community to be able to visit something related to the Smithsonian without having to travel to Washington, D.C.
Well, just so happens 2 years ago, I think it was, or 3 years ago, my son and I went through the Smithsonian, and that, excuse me, that in itself was just totally awesome. I mean, everything from dinosaurs to the first airplanes to you name it, it was there. And they had different rooms and just huge rooms of things.
Yeah.
But here we're going to have a piece of it in Andalusia, which is something that you just can't buy, as they say. When I stand out here on the square, you can't buy that background. You
Right.
can't buy those things. Well, you can't buy the richness of the history that we're going to be receiving
Exactly.
from these folks here.
Well, as a young person, you have to take history classes at school and in college and so forth. And for the average person, it's just something they have to go through. As you get older and we realize how things used to be, how things are, and how things might be,
Used to be that way.
this becomes a really, well, it becomes an extremely interesting subject, and I hope that the young people in the community at least take a chance, take the time to come out and view this and see it, because later on they'll remember, how interesting it was, and find out about your community, the history of your community, because it is quite interesting.
Well, what scares me a lot of times is thinking about the generation that doesn't even know what a rotary dial phone is.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things they don't know. They don't remember.
But I'm always big on the history here in the community as well, and this is huge for us here. And other events going on during those 5 weeks, or just that? I mean, are we going to have more like the car show here on the square? Will there be other things happening during the weekends other than?
Well, the museums and the gallery, they'll be open throughout
Those will be all
5
through the week.
Yes, they'll be open through the week. The exhibit at the chamber, the hours for that, I want to make sure everybody knows this. Again, Monday through Friday is from 9 until 5, and then on Saturdays from 10 until 2. So if you have family or friends out of town, they can't come in until the weekend. The exhibit will be open on Saturday. I believe that the art gallery is planning to be open on those Saturdays as well. But check the calendar. We're trying to plan an evening event every week of the exhibit.
That's where I was going with. Is there's some other
That's
events,
local.
right?
That's local. And there, of course, January is busy with the Chamber Banquet, and Covington Arts Council also has a program that month, so we're not wanting to compete with those or schedule anything on those evenings. But everyone will have a chance to see something. If you can go to the exhibit as many times as you want to, because to be perfectly honest, walking through one time isn't going to get it all.
That's true.
And so there's that, and then there's the performances during the weeknights. So there'll be something going on every week.
Well, you mentioned some of the, they'll be talking about the old businesses, 50 years and older. We just had Alan Williams. There we go.
The Casket Company.
The Casket Company
Yeah.
on here, and 100 plus years old.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked to Emily and Nick and Bob Brooks, 100 years old this year at Brooks Hardware. We've got a lot of still here
Yeah.
businesses.
Yeah.
You look at the Alitex area, and you got Wright Manufacturing coming in and helping out with it. Well, that used to be Alatex where they're at. It all interconnects. So it's kind of neat to see that. Then the mural, you know, this city is rich with the murals and the history on them,
Yes.
and we're so blessed with that. But once again, if they're looking for anything to, or as far as information-wise, they can go to www.cityofandalusia.com
Correct.
and go to the Smithsonian link, and they will be able to pull up all the calendar of events that's going on and who's doing what in the area. If they have any questions, can they call you?
They can call me, or they can call Heather at the chamber. My office number is 428-1127. Of course, I'm in and out of the office a lot because of everything going on right now, but if they leave a message, I'll be happy to get back to them. One other thing I forgot to mention, you mentioned the murals, and the mural committee is working hard. That we have 8 murals, and the 9th mural is getting ready to be started very soon, and may be finished up by the time the exhibit opens, or right there at the opening of the exhibit. I'm working with the mural committee on creating a cell phone tour, and with the Smithsonian's help, people will be able to, when they're viewing the mural, call on their cell phone, hit a code, and they'll be able to hear someone talking about that mural. And the Smithsonian is going to keep that up for at least 3 years, hopefully longer. And as our murals grow, we can add to that cell phone tour. So that's a really neat thing.
Yeah. That's like when you drive by homes and stuff, you tune your radio in and you can listen to, you know, what's the home's about. Here we'll have that on the cell phone with the murals.
Right.
That's totally awesome.
Yeah, that's really
wow. Technology. I just mentioned rotary phones, and now we're doing technology of driving by something and being able to hear about it. Well, we really appreciate you coming in. We appreciate the City of Andalusia for doing these types of things. This is enrichment in culture and everything in this community. It brings back what used to be and keeps us alert of where we were to where we're going.
Right.
And we thank you for your effort over there as well.
Well, thank you. And I want to thank all the volunteers that have worked really hard and helped me get this thing going. It was a big job. We still have a little bit of elbow work to do, and just everybody's been great. Everybody's been great. The community's been wonderful, and I just think they all need a big pat on the back.
Well, we certainly will as well, and thank them, because without volunteers, without people getting involved in the community, there's no way a city or a government agency can afford to put something off like this without the volunteers' help.
Right.
And we appreciate that as well. We appreciate you coming on and sharing this with us and
Thank you
talking
for having
about
me.
it. I'm excited about it. I'm going to be out here. We're going to be covering it live on the square and the surrounding area as well, hopefully over at the museum and at the Art Center, being able to cover those live and bring it to our viewers. So we'll invite you to come back in during that 5 weeks, and maybe we'll get a weekly update of what's coming on with y'all and have y'all come in.
Now, I don't
share.
love being on TV.
I know, but you're doing just fine. She said I only got 5-10 minutes maximum, and she's done made almost a half hour. So you done well, and we appreciate you.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate and I got to say this because we have more than just you behind the scenes doing this. We
Okay.
have the mayor. We have the city council that was very
Yes.
involved in this. I pick on him all the time. Andy Wiggins, you know, he's very instrumental in behind this as well. The unsung people, the city employees, they get involved and get, you know, when we done this Christmas stuff out here.
Yeah, you need something done, just ask the guys and they'll get it out there.
Incredible stuff out here during Christmas in the parade. I was like, you know, just awestruck at how, and it was clean, it was very efficient and well done.
Yeah.
And for a city of our size, we're very blessed to have the leadership that we have and the people that get involved. And we thank you for that as well, for being a part of that.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to
we
you.
recorded this early so we can get it out before the holidays.
I'm sorry.
Folks, remember, it's The Way We Worked, coming January 4th through February 8th here in the fine city of Andalusia. And it's going to cover not just Andalusia, but everything around the area as well.
Covington County.
Covington County. So make it a mark on your calendar for January and February to take part in this. And if you have any concerns or information wanted, call 222-2030, or you can go to www.cityofandalusia.com. That's www.cityofandalusia.com. If you put it all together, you won't go nowhere. And that's the way that works. But thanks for tuning in. Thank you again for coming on. And folks, remember, keep it real. Keep God in it. God bless you. We love you. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all that stuff, even though it may be after Christmas when you see this.